part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
That it is. Welcome into On the Block, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredient butcher shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Every type of meat and every type of cut. 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of the show, you can do so by joining our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Lots to get to on today's show, especially as it relates to Nebraska fall camp. We'll talk some about the offense, specifically the quarterback situation here in the first segment or two. We will have the shootout with Strick. It returns after a week away with the bulk of us being out there in Las Vegas and our time being spent at Big Ten Media Days. But let's bring in Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, Jay Foreman. Jay, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
How you feeling after the drive yesterday?
It's all good. I'm a road warrior, man.
You are?
Yeah.
We know that about you.
Yep. It's all good in the hood, man.
All good in the hood?
And you gave me some love. You said I was a 9-year NBA vet.
Oh, 9-year NFL vet.
Yeah.
Not bad. You could have been a 9-year NBA vet as well.
No.
I think you could have. I've heard the stories.
As
long as there's no dudes from Racine on that team, you would have been fine.
Hey, man. You know how the phones pick up, whatever you say? Is that true?
I mean, it's not.
It's awful
not fully
true.
proven,
Man,
but
you start
true.
talking about steaks and stuff. All of a sudden, I'm just getting all types of barbecue tips on my social media.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what you follow on social media, anyway.
But I'm just saying, when you're talking specifically, because I was just been talking about I got to take my game up to smoking some oxtails.
Ooh.
So
How about that?
But then now that stuff's coming up. That's not generally my regular stuff. So I think since if we do mention Racine, I can almost guarantee that Racine's going to pop up somewhere.
My bad.
It's all right. Me and my old AAU team, and we don't talk that much, but but I always talk to one of my best friends, Jamal, who was on the team. And he was like, "Hey, we just be just rolling, and Racine will come up." It's a chuckle. Them boys ran us off the court, man. Now it's questionable whether they were 16, because a couple of them had beards, but they beat the brakes off us.
I ran a 100-meter dash against a kid with a beard in 8th grade.
Yeah, what's funny is that since we're going to talk about fall camp, is that when I first kind of had the goal, or at least I thought I knew I would. I mean, I was saying I wanted to go play college football, right? And my dad had been telling me, you need to, run track. It was more he wanted me to do it to learn how to be a competitor and just, obviously get some running in, or whatever, work on speed work. Because we didn't have all these trainers, we didn't have all these nutritionists, we didn't have all this stuff, right? And I knew I felt like I was, you're kind of encapsulated sometimes. And it's like Nebraska as well. You could be encapsulated, and it could be that your biggest advocate, but your biggest detriment. And so I was a good player, when I was young. I think I was a freshman. I played a little varsity sophomore as well. So, I'm out there. I'm thinking I'm Joe Cool or whatever. And I've been hearing about this dude named Carl McCullough, right?
Okay.
Hearing about him. Now, I went to a public school, big public school.
Eden Prairie. Represent.
Hey, this. He went to Creighton Durham Hall, where Steve Walsh went, the Walsh brothers, Joe Mauer, Chris Winkie, Carl McCullough, all these guys, they were always like they were really a prep school, because they would go and Creighton Durham Hall. You had to pay money to go there. Our own Chris Schwab, former Husker, went there. He played a few years in the league. Good Schwabi. They never approached me to do that. So you hear about these dudes, and they would always be in the state championship and beat people. It'd be like 66-0. They'd be playing like
merciless,
like Sacred Heart of the Saints. They would just be beating the brakes off these little dudes. And Carl McCullough, I was like, oh, he ain't that good just because you ain't playing against nobody. And it's the truth. So we get out there, and I'll never forget, we were in an open track tournament, right? So I didn't go to track practice Thursday and Friday because I had an AU tournament. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go out here and just give me a couple little runs in. Then I got a game that night. When we jumped down in them blocks, man. I mean, I'm at that, I was probably at least 6'1", 6'2" at that time. I was a young sophomore. My man was 19 years old with a full-on beard. And when I tell you he left your boy Jay Foreman in the blocks, that was a grown man against a boy. Hey, man, I was like, yeah, I better start listening to my dad.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I felt that. Man. I think we all have those moments that we remember from high school sports. Like, how are we competing on the same playing surface? At the same time.
Well, I mean,
it's one thing if you're in the pros, right, where there can be some grizzled vets and grown men.
Yeah.
Even in college, where you can have that 4 now 5-year age differential. But high school,
yeah, I mean, he should have been in college. And the funny thing is, it happens in the pros too. I mean, there's some high school kids that are going against college kids right now. They're going to experience it, for the first time as Huskers. And in the pros, I went against Kevin Gogan. You talking about a grown man strength? and Kevin Gogan didn't look like anything, like nothing special. Like as far as like he wasn't like Larry Allen or like I played against Reuben Brown, Steve. Steve. Those guys just I was like, all right,
they look the part.
Yeah, Alan Faneca, all of them are Hall of Famers. Randall McDaniel and all that. Oh no, Kevin Gogan just looked like somebody you'd be going to the sale barn in like Grand Island or Fremont, wherever the sale barn is. Overalls, t-shirt. Now he was tall.
Coach Prime overalls?
Yeah. But his was dirty. They weren't yeah. He you know what I mean? That's what he looked like. Just a big old country boy. But when I tell you he gets his hands on you,
Over.
Yeah. You got a fake ID. You tried to fight the security. He not only going to throw you up out of the club, he going to try to give you the business after that.
Eric on our text line wants me to ask you about the picture of you sitting on the rim of a basketball hoop.
Yeah, what about it?
He just wants me to ask you about it.
Eric,
What
that's
is
what
this
happens
picture?
when you got hops like that, brother.
I've never seen this picture. I believe I need to now.
I mean, I think sometimes, here's what I'm going to tell you this before we get into Husker stuff. Nelson Aguilar, you know who he is? You remember him?
Oh, Aguilar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that what was that? The Vine or the TikTok was made out of?
Yeah. Right?
Good thing you weren't throwing Aguilar.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing about it. His team just won, a 15U just won AAU national tournament.
Dang.
Basketball. Right? He was a first round pick in the NFL.
I think so.
Right, or high second round.
Mm-hmm.
So see, this is the thing that football, that most of these guys, football players, will fight. And this is
20th pick by the Eagles.
Exactly. So now he's coaching basketball. Right? But everybody that he's went against is like, oh, that's just a football guy.
Mm.
See what these little fake coaches out here that just run around and probably with knucklehead, didn't really do nothing in high school and all that, doing that. See, like, we're not living through like whoever we're coaching.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to coach to get them better at life. So when if you get to see it, it's a really good testament of what he's talking about. Like, hey, we won a team championship. All you guys will use these things to go and be the man at your individual high schools. And when you guys, whatever team you're on, whether you're on reserve, JV, and varsity, it's much bigger. He's like, this is bigger than this championship. This is a byproduct of everybody sacrificing to win this. And as we got it, and he said, as they went along, it became harder. You guys became better. That's no different than what they're probably saying over there at the football team. As this thing goes on, and obviously we got 2-a-days in camp is the byproduct. But as you go along this process of trying to become the team that they say and want to be, and as a team in that locker room, that's the same process that you're going to have to go through to like win a championship. And that's the thing where I think people don't understand is like, kids play a lot of games these times, in every sport, growing up, but there's nothing like winning.
Right.
There's nothing like if you think that if I imagine some of these kids that play these games, whether it's baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever, and they're rolling up to a championship game, they're just like, oh, it's just a championship game.
It's just a championship game.
The mindset should be, this is the championship of the free world, not literally, but in your mind, because when you get into a championship type of match, or like when you have to, say you're going into a scrimmage and you got to perform, beat somebody out, that doesn't change. How you approach things. And it's not, and the easy thing is for what people are going to say, well, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, but it is serious. Now, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, sure, it's not that serious. But when you start to get up to where, you really start to take score, it has nothing to do with the wins and losses. It's how you approach it. And that's no different than what's going on right now with all these football teams, across America that eventually will be reporting to camp and being at camp.
Let's view that through the lens of Nebraska starting quarterback Dylan Raiola. Jay, pretty solid freshman year, all things considered across the board. Not chosen one, not savior chef by any stretch of the imagination. But let's start with that approach to the game, right? Where it does matter for Nebraska, where they are keeping score. Nebraska looking to improve on a 7-6 record from last year. How did you think Dylan Raiola approached the game last year as a freshman? What have you heard about his approach now as a rising sophomore for 2025?
Well, I think, number one, I think, his approach was, that's part of the reason why he was able to, start and have a decently good freshman year under the circumstances, right? Where you come in, he came in early from high school. So, I can't say he just came in July, but, to come in with, the amount of pressure of being, he was the former number 1 overall player, but then he was top 10 or whatever he ended at. You have that. You got family legacy. You have the timing of when you flipped, and then obviously the commitments before. So you get there, and then obviously everybody just had the assumption of what he's getting paid versus, then the production that you need. And I think he was able to handle himself under those circumstances pretty good. He always, articulated himself pretty good for a young 18, 19-year-old kid. His approach to the game and being able to handle being a quarterback as a freshman from day one, that playbook, all that stuff was, you couldn't really ask for much more from him, and then, as far as this year, I think things have slowed down for him because he's done it before. You got to think, I can only go from my experience. I don't need to talk for Dylan, but I could just talk about what it's like when you go from your first year to your second year. And I could talk about from when I started as a freshman, redshirt freshman, to that next year. And it's as simple as, the timing of the route that you come to practice, the emergency route if there's traffic, your way around campus. I even know that I don't think they go to many classes.
They do their classes. They're just online.
Online.
Let's throw that out.
What I'm saying is, worrying about, okay, if I get out of the weight room here this time, I got to shower, eat, and get to class on time.
Mhm.
They don't have to really worry about that as much. They still do attend classes, but all that stuff is a lot easier for them. All that stuff can kind of time management, I'm sure.
Dedicate less mental processing power to it.
He's time management. When's fun time? When's relaxing time? When's the extra time? When's the time that, what's the required time versus what I'm doing outside of required time for football, all that. He knows the schedule a lot better. He knows probably what to expect in 2-a-days as well, or fall camp, because you're just kind of really learning every single day. Yeah, you're out there playing, but now you're like, okay, I know what it's like. It's just your body is just more conditioned to it. So I'm sure his approach is a lot better.
What about on the field? How do you felt that Dylan Raiola adjusted to the speed of the game throughout the course of the year? Obviously playing the best competition that he's seen. Did he seem like he was in control for the most part to you? Did he seem like he was swimming in it at times? How would you kind of grade him on the field in terms of his approach?
I think it was normal for a freshman, probably better than most freshmen. Like if you just took a freshman from, I don't know what, Southeast, Southwest high school, obviously he was, light years ahead. I felt like, the pace wasn't too much for him. Then I felt like, teams adjusted to him, which you should want. I mean, you got to expect that. And then he adjusted, and I think he played pretty decent in the bowl game. I think the best thing that he's shown the ability to do is he continues to go to work, which I think will pay off for him this year as far as being able to understand. I mean, maybe his expectations were probably higher than actually they should have been, and that's fine because that's what you want. You don't want somebody to just be okay with being okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he's going to use all those good and bad things to be a better player. Or at least he should. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's. I think there's a distinct difference. This is in general in athletes, guys that get places and maybe come in with a nice little cash that just relax. And then there's guys that come here and understand it's the business and I want to continue to get paid, but I want to be the best I can be. And so I think he's more on the second part. And as long as he does that, then the rest will be fine.
We'll talk about some stuff on the field in terms of play attributes, how we graded out. Because I saw an interesting couple of series of tweets.
Oh, they got grades now? They got
grades, Jay. We'll go over that coming up in our next segment. But I think that the next part of the approach for Dylan Raiola is last year being in the competition, just getting his feet wet. I think a lot of Husker fans hoped and assumed that he would be the starter over Heiner Carberg, but I'm going to take Matt Rule at his word that Dylan Raiola had to earn it, right? It was never a given that he was going to walk into campus as the starting quarterback, but he earned it. But he's still trying to find his way, like you said, as a freshman. Got an upperclassman there in Heiner Carberg alongside him. But now, with Heiner Carberg moved to tight end, that room is Dylan Raiola's. When you look at the guys that are behind Dylan Raiola, you have the grad transfer in Jalen Gramstad, who's listed as the backup quarterback right now. QB3 then is probably a competition between Marcos Davila, who's in the same class as Dylan Raiola, but redshirted for Purdue last year, and then TJ Lateef. How has Dylan's role changed inside that quarterback room? And what does him, being not just a leader of the team, but specifically that quarterback room look like? How does that change for him?
Yeah, I think you go from just doing your job and kind of, and it's hard because when you're a freshman, I remember when I was starting as a freshman, you're just out there. I mean, quarterback's different than linebacker, but you're just trying to play good, right? Now he's going to go, now his approach is like, okay, I got to play good to great. then I got to lead. So now you have to, your actions have to match your words, and sometimes your actions have to exceed your words. And so that's just the difference. And that's part of maturity. That's part of being the quarterback of a franchise, or of a program. There's some things you just got to do. There's other quarterbacks. Was it Lagway has to do it?
Who we'll get to in the next segment as well.
Sellers has to do it. I mean, even though he's not a freshman, but he had a good year last year. Now things are different because now guys are coming in and are watching how he works and how he deals with both success, adversity, and then kind of like the lull days. And so,
shoot, Arch Manning has to do it.
Yeah, Arch Manning has to do it. He Arch Manning went from like a delicacy to the whole menu. That's really what you go from. And so, it's just part of the process. It's no different than coming in. They don't really come in as rookies, unsigned, before training camp. But it's like, okay, you come out, in the middle of the season, you end up, okay, say like Cleveland Browns, one of those rookies, right, end up starting and then potentially becoming the starting quarterback next year. And then the guys that come in, like you're like rookies that year, they're watching them. So you just can't be like, okay, I just got to go out there and play good so I win the job. Now you got to go out there and play good because we need to win. And that's always the end goal, but it's a different mindset.
But sometimes it's hard to come by. It's one of those things you can know in your head, but then take that attitude to approach.
It comes from experience, man. I mean, it's
and like you said, he's been a sophomore since what, Game 6 last season?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Coach Samuels told me when he's like, hey, about Game 6? I don't want to hear no mother, but you're a freshman, brother. And and he said it the year before to Grant Wistrom when Grant was playing, and I was able, to see Grant have success, and everybody had that same, probably, thing told to them as well.
We know Dylan Raiola is, walking into the year as the presumed starter. Let's say that, like last year and like pretty much every year, Nebraska needs a backup to take some snaps, whether it's for a series or a quarter, or whatever it is. How do you feel about Jalen Gramstad and probably TJ Lateef behind Dylan Raiola compared to Heinrich Harburg last year?
Well, I think Gramstad is one. So that's good. I think he's probably a good, coach, player coach, coach player or whatever for Dylan. I think is from his experience as a winner, and maybe he can see things from a different perspective, different lens. He has to play the quarterback position different than Dylan. I mean, look, Dylan's got way more, size, arm strength, and all that. But the way that he has to play quarterback is different, so that can help as far as being able to go in there and hold the fort down. And then TJ Lateef, he comes from, I think he came from Mater Day,
Orange Lutheran.
Okay, Orange Lutheran.
Even better, Lutheran over Catholic.
Okay.
We like it. Shout out to TJ Lateef for that.
Oh yeah, but I know that he played in a pretty good league, and he comes with a lot of accolades. And he gives you, he can pick him up, put him down. He has a little bit like Cali swag. So I think, he's a good guy that's in the waiting in the wings. If I'm TJ Lateef, I'm trying to get to that number 2 spot.
Yeah.
I mean, those are just as heated competition as everybody always looks at who's gonna get their face put up there, which is great because it's like, okay, you're up there for a second. They say Jay Foreman from Eden Prairie starting. That's great, right? That gives you that's that ice cream feeling, right? That's that Nick Saban talking about ice cream. It makes you feel good for, however long it takes you to ice cream cone. But then if you want to really, get that true intrinsic, it's like you're working your way up for something. You're beating guys out. That's how you get that kind of street cred.
We've had this discussion before. I do think it's interesting just looking at the makeup of this room for Nebraska. You have Dylan Raiola, who's definitely a pocket-based quarterback. Then his backups, like we just talked about, Jalen Gramstad, TJ Lateef, not nearly as big as Dylan, but probably more mobile. And then another guy fighting in that competition is Marcos Davila, who's very similar size to Dylan. Again, more of a pocket-style quarterback. It was just such a dichotomy for Nebraska last year, going from Dylan Raiola to Heinrich Harburg. And every quarterback is going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. But Jay, I do kind of like the makeup of Nebraska's room in that if Marcos Davila and TJ Lateef, who are essentially in the same class for all intents and purposes right now, we'll see if Lateef ends up redshirting. That'd obviously be ideal for Nebraska. And then there's the year gap between them. But I do like that Nebraska has a guy like Dylan Raiola if the situation calls for it. But also that change of pace, right, in Gramstad and Lateef, that if you need something more unpredictable, if you need a guy that gives you more options, I like that Nebraska can go both directions potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you more to prepare for, and then obviously it gives you some options as a play caller. So you'd like to be able to curtail your playbook or your play call sheet based on who's in there. But I think the one thing that's, that the team has right now, I guess defensively is what you have different body types. I think the body types, I think everybody looks at, I think things have changed from like I wouldn't say straight line speed, but just kind of like a real like in the box kind of what do you need? I think the body types really help a team like Nebraska or any team that gives you a lot of flexibility. I think the Isaiah Simmons explosion from Clemson, coming in as a receiver, playing safety, linebacker, corner, outside linebacker, defensive end, all that has opened the eyes of both offensively and defensively how you can attack one side of the ball. Now that's where Nebraska is able to do it. And you talk about the quarterback position, you're able to do that as well. And if you go on a good recent history of an opponent, when Nebraska played up in Minnesota a few years ago, I don't know when it was, they had Tanner Morgan as the quarterback, and then they brought in, I think his last name was Kramer, in the red zone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he actually, but then he was more of a runner, but he could do just enough in the pass game to hit. I think he hit it. I think he threw it like a little tight end touchdown, like a little kind of RPO. Once you can do that and take a little, if you can take 10 or 15 minutes of preparation away from me as a defensive player, focus on potential of something that whether it happens or not, it puts you in an advantage in it offensively. So, but all the quarterbacks, when you think about it, they all are facing the same thing, which is from the top to the bottom, Dylan to the, whether it's Latif or whoever, everybody's having to put in an honest day's work to get to where they want to get to. Dylan wants to be, better than what he was last year. Gramstead wants to be a solid, Donnie's like, oh, well, he's in. He wants to be, all right, this dude can hold the fort down. TJ Latif wants to beat out anybody that's in that competition for the third, and I'm coming for the second spot. So when you go out there and play, go out there and practice, everybody's doing this. Everybody should have the same standards and obviously expectations.
That they should. We'll continue talking more about the quarterback position for Nebraska, including some headlines from a national sort of commentator who's wondering maybe why Dylan Raiola isn't getting the same level of offseason hype as another quarterback that Jay mentioned earlier in the segment. Come back with us here during On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're back here on the block. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you till 5 o'clock, talking Husker football, fall camp, and plenty more here on 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Chill out with that, Austin.
You're my
Austin
co-host. I need to
Powers?
make sure you're good, okay?
Yeah.
I meant it. It was funny, and I meant it at the same time.
All right, I got you.
Ted Seth, who's been doing a lot of stuff for Pro Football Focus, I believe, in the past, big football data guy, tweets this a few days ago. Why isn't Dylan Raiola getting more hype going into this season? 5-star quarterback with a 62.5 quarterback rating as a freshman, with Pro Football Focus grading both his pass blocking and receiving outside the top 40 in the country. For reference, DJ Lagway had a 57.9 QBR, so that's 4.6 points lower, with the 12th best pass blocking and 28th best receiving in the country. I'm not saying Raiola is better than Lagway. I'm just wondering if there should be such a big gap in the amount of hype. CFB Numbers picks up on this, another Twitter account, and says, yeah, DJ Lagway had some more explosive plays down the field, but Raiola wasn't that far behind. Plus, he now gets a play calling bump and Dane Key out of the portal. Don't forget about Raiola. And if you look at the chart that I'm looking at, Dylan was actually better than DJ Lagway when it comes to success rate, marginally. Neither one was elite in that rating. But Dylan's turnovers weren't as costly, according to their expected points added model. Dylan took about half as many sacks. Their sack rate was certainly lower for Dylan than it was for DJ Lagway. Dylan actually graded out better for his rushing ability. We know DJ Lagway probably has more of the traditional tools when it comes to it, but in terms of the actual results on the field, Dylan graded out better, according to Pro Football Focus in a lot of ways as well. So, Jay, there's that question. Is Dylan Raiola under the radar, properly rated, underrated, overrated? Probably not overrated at this point.
Yeah, I'd say properly to underrated. I mean, I just think it's like when you're a freshman, it's hard to, unless you have all the stars aligned, it's hard to get up there where, like now you're just like picking at straws now. I think it's like wherever this guy is that wrote the article, you wonder where he's at or how many games he's actually watched versus the numbers. The numbers aren't necessarily always created equal in either way. Right. You could go and put up a whole bunch of numbers against Willie Lump and to be like, oh, this dude's really good. But then a guy that's in a harder conference, which they're obviously the SEC and the Big Ten are two of the best. But say somebody was in the AAC or the Big 12 or ACC, it could be viewed a lot different. So I just think it's kind of like, I think if I'm Dylan, I'm in a good spot. I'm in a better spot than anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, sure, I've been in those situations where you want to feel like get your just due, but then also, it wasn't anything outstanding. It was obviously really good for a freshman, but it wasn't like, earth shattering, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because he ended on a high note and played well. So if I'm Dylan, I'm actually motivated. I'm more disciplined and more, I guess, in the moment you'll be motivated, but then that's going to really heighten my discipline. Here's why I think Dylan is in a better position than a lot of guys just on the surface, right? You were 13 and 11, right? Then if you go to just by upgrading talent, more experience in connectivity with Coach Dana, right? And you go to, let's just say he goes to 20 touchdowns or 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 22 and say 8. Okay. Well, that's a drastic improvement, right? You're plus 14 and if you're 22 and 8 or 20 and 6, all that plus 14, right? So now you show drastic improvement by the numbers, right? By plus 14. Then I guess that would potentially correlate to Nebraska 8-9 plus wins. Florida ain't doing that if you're just going apples to apples. Now you're the same player and you've gotten better, right? And it's all subjective how much better you got. You could just say, okay, I got more experience, I got better talent, I got a better grasp of the offense, different play calling, circumstances and all that, and your team is making some noise. Well, then now 6 months from now, 6 months from now, you ain't worried about that list. No. Now the new list comes out. Now the real list comes out. Now you're in a different position, all based on if you just handle your business. So, I think that both of them were highly rated. What was Dylan? Who was the official number one quarterback?
I think Sayan ended up number one at the end of the day.
Sayan, Dylan, Lagway.
Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was Sayan that leapfrog.
Okay, so everybody's in the same position, where you're like, okay, you guys actually all lived up to your billing, right? I mean, Sayan didn't start last year, but they all should be, pretty relative that they lived up to the billing. Now it's going to come down to the competition and the circumstances of where you had to, leapfrog each other.
Trying to get this to load at one point, but just from a quick scan of the 24/7 rankings, it was Lagway, Raiola, and then Sayan. So I misspoke.
Okay, well,
but either way, I mean, they're 1 point separating all of them. Another 1 point separating them from Luke Kromenhoek from Florida State and Walker White, Auburn, and then C.J. Carr at Notre Dame. At least as of last year.
Right. So essentially, probably byproduct of this list is probably of the original list that you just named, right? But now everybody's in the same position. They're all kind of in the same boat. Obviously, Lagway and Dylan are a little bit farther ahead than Sayan. But Sayan has probably kind of like that Arch Manning thing where you're getting the super benefit of the doubt.
And so probably better talent around him.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But you're getting the benefit of the doubt. So that's where, and particularly Dylan, he's in a great position. Your circumstances actually are better than the other two. You know what I'm saying? Florida, I mean, do you think they're going to replicate or get above like 8, 9, 10 wins?
Probably not. I mean, there's a lot of hype around Florida because when Graham Mertz went down against Tennessee, I think in the third quarter of that game, you had DJ Lagway take over, and then from that Tennessee game on, they won 5 of 6, 4 or 5 to end the regular season to get to bowl eligibility or clinch bowl eligibility, and then they won the bowl game against Tulane as well. So I think that's where a lot of the hype from Lagway for Florida is coming from. He certainly showed flashes because, I mean, they beat LSU, they beat Ole Miss. A bad year for Florida State, but still went on the road and beat them by 20 points. Then even, 2 touchdown loss to Georgia, 34-20, maybe a little bit more competitive than things were trending at that point. Saying, walks into the driver's seat, essentially, right? He's walking into a car that's essentially on autopilot. Now, he can't screw it up. We'll see if he can elevate it like Will Howard did at times last year. So I think Dylan probably has the most on his plate in terms of he has to be the best creator of offense for his team. But I like what you're saying about his platform and the position that he's in based on all the reps he got last year and the offseason of comfortability.
All the reps that he got, the situation, if you want to weigh in, the potential, like with the schedule, the roster, where you play games, the, TV games versus not TV games, the high exposure. And so it's set up for a huge leap. But then, what, Florida, and this is not taking anything away from Lagway. Look, it was, obviously, you should deserve some of the accolades. You come in as a freshman, you win 5 games, get them, because Napier was dead in the water.
Yeah.
Then you make a bowl game, and then you win your bowl game. So that's commendable. But then I look at it like when I was in Houston at one point, and you play good down the stretch, and teams are already looking towards the playoffs, and you knock a couple teams off, and you actually start playing better football. It's actually sometimes fool's gold. And I'm not hating. I'm telling you the truth. You come into the offseason because, you always want to end. That's why the bowl game is important. You want to end on a positive note. But
in college, you get the opportunity. Close to half the teams can end their season with.
But here's the reality. Now these teams that you play in 2025, they get to watch those last 5 games, right? And now the expectations are higher. So those are emotional based. So you can't keep going back to last year. You're going to be dealing in the present. Whereas different with Nebraska, they've kind of dealing a little bit farther along the process because those 5 games he's already kind of went through in the first 5 games. Remember, you come out the last year, Colorado and all that, then have the Illinois dip, and then keep going, and then you went through a little lull where the offense struggled. Obviously, Indiana was on the eyesore. And then you had to, slowly but surely work your way back up and deal with the pressures of all the success that you had earlier in the season. So Florida is going to deal with that lull that Nebraska had to deal with at some point in time in that first quarter of the season or first third of the season. It's just the way it is. And that's it. You can call it a sophomore slump. It's just like a reality. They actually got tape and they got time. It's TNT. They got tape and time.
And from the outside, I think people assume that, you ended last year on a positive note, that momentum automatically carries over.
No, and that's even for Nebraska. Every year is a new year. Every team, you could. This is my belief, and people can say whatever you want. And you do this a lot in basketball, colleges, and you do it in football all the time. You do it in every sport. Volleyball, whatever. You can, and I'll give you an example. 95 team, 1995. Biasly, I'll say it's the greatest of all time. No worse than 3, and it ain't 3. Oh, it's no worse than 4, and it's not 4. How about that?
Sure.
96 was just as talented with a lot of the same players except for T. Frazier. Okay, it's just as talented. But we didn't win it. You could come back with the same team. We could come back maybe with the same team in 96 or 95 and not win it because every year is different. You have a different offseason after you had success. These kids don't know no difference between winning a championship and having success. They getting patted on the back the same. They get the checks are still clearing. Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And it could be so that's why every year is not the same, and you can have the same team. And that's what Florida had to deal with. And the people do assume that you rang off 5 or you whatever you did the last 5 games to get into bowl eligible. Well, then you're just going to continue along that process and keep winning those games. Here's the problem. They don't ever think that the teams that you beat last year or the teams you're supposed to beat have gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these coaches, just like Napier and those guys, they were coaching for their
lives
at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They got obligations. They got family that don't want to leave. They have, friends that they've made in neighborhoods or whatever it is. They like it there, right? The whole staff or whatever he's able to, I'm a little salty at Billy Napier. He ran out, my man Todd Grantham guy ran out of town. That's his boy. You know what I'm saying? The offense is bad and you fire my man that's the D coordinator. That's my homeboy. Now Todd Grantham's down there with the Oklahoma State.
That's
DC.
right.
Oh,
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's my man.
Huh.
And you talk about a dude that will get it cracking.
Todd Grantham will get it cracking?
Like
Greg Williams style?
Greg here's the thing. And now, funny is I was thinking about Greg because it's football time.
It's football time.
And he has that goatee, and I don't know if it's colored now or his hair's colored. You ever see him?
Yes.
It's like he looks like a dude that robbed a bank, with a disguise. Greg probably gonna be mad at me or whatever. So Greg is one of them dudes. He just pops in your head because they started showing they started showing some of the NFL training camp stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Greg would challenge you as a man and contemplate knocking his head off, though, as a man. Like walking up with stone cold, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then he had a way of doing it, and he was doing it because he wanted to test you mentally and spiritually. But then also, you walked away and was like, yeah, his delivery was off, but the message was he believes in you. It's kind of like that Buddy Ryan type of stuff, and then you got to appreciate it. Versus like Todd Grantham, he lit me up one time. He lit me up while the defensive series was going on. I was out there playing.
And he's in your headset?
No,
just yelling
from the
at you?
sideline.
Todd,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Was he right?
He was 1,000% right.
But still chose to do it during the play.
He was cussing me out while I was playing. He would take the headset off because I missed a check, right? Now, he must have heard what I said from the sideline. And I think Gary used to always like to try to pit me and Todd against each other because we knew we were tight.
Little instigator.
Right. Because Todd would get off on or get mad at Gary because Gary would always be out of shape and be lazy. And I'd be like, Todd, your boys are lazy, just mess with him. But we were pretty cool. I missed the check, and he had been telling me we were playing the Colts actually, and but he had a good read on it, and I missed the check because actually Peyton had gotten in my head. I'm like, he's not going to have the same thing this week. Todd was like, trust me, my intel's good. No, it ain't, man. This is Peyton Manning. He's the czar. The check was supposed to do it, or the Peyton check. I was supposed to check. Nah, I'm going to do something else. Edrin hit us up for like 12. Todd, he would when he would get mad, he would take the headset off because he didn't want the coaches to hear what he was saying. The other Dom Capers. He said something. I could hear him. I could hear it clear as day. There's 80,000 people over there,
and it just went straight from his mouth to your ear hole.
And then somehow he must have knew what I was saying. It started with the F, and the last
letter was
word,
U.
And he was like, "Oh, blankety blank me, headset off, blankety blank you." The play, I never get. I'm dropping in a cover 3 drop. He's like, "You just wait till you get over here with this, and this." It was second down. He gave me the business for the next 3 plays.
That second down, third down, and special teams reps.
Second down, third down, and then we went back to first down, and somebody had fumbled. We actually wasn't a fumble. We got a hometown cooking, and we got to turn. And he lit me up like a Christmas tree. Yes, yeah. For like 10 minutes, it was going on.
So really, what I'm hearing is that's Miami and Miami crime from Edrin.
Yeah,
he didn't have to do you like that.
He didn't.
But
and Edrin didn't have to stiff arm me like that in my chest. He punched me though, and I wonder if it was personal. I wonder if it was personal because I ran into Edrin at a club in Miami, and my cousin was going to fight Shannon Briggs, the boxer. And I don't know if him and Edrin was cool, but we was way out of control. And I think one of my boys was like, "Yeah, you know, my cousin about to tear you up. I'm off getting a drink or something." And the vibe was off when I came back. I think Edrin got me that time, man.
Dang. Well, you can get back at Edrin by winning the shootout. How about that?
I need some wing.
402-464-5685. Call now. It's our Honda of Lincoln hotline. Take on Jay Foreman in trivia. Nebraska quarterback history. I'll even give you the topic today. Again, 402-464-5685. We'll play the shootout to wrap up hour one after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game! It's all about the game, and how you play it, all about your try.
It is all about the game. We need you to call 402-464-5685. Don't be mad or don't be scared of Jay Foreman, and we lost our browser window, so we'll get that back up and rolling. 402-464-5685. I am being told that today, of all days, is National Chicken Wing Day.
Chicken wing. What's your favorite?
My favorite is the Southern Fried Wings from Buffalo Wings and Rings. And I can say that not only because they sponsor the segment, but because they're just that good. All right, we'll have Neil on the line here in just a second. But happy National Chicken Wing Day from our friends at Buffalo Wings and Rings to you. We'll give away $30 to Wings and Rings here potentially in just a second. But how about this? At the 2 Lincoln Buffalo Wings and Rings locations, one down at 68th and O, one down at 40th and Old Cheney. For the rest of today, they are giving you 40% off all wings. Southern Fried Wings, my favorite. I get them every time we're there at BWR. Smoked wings and cauliflower rings for the rest of today only. 40% off. If you have supper plans, cancel them, get to Buffalo Wings and Rings. If you don't have supper plans, hey, guess what? Now you do. Let's go to our Honda of Lincoln hotline. Let's bring in Neil. Neil, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are doing well, thank you. Hold on the line. We will get Jay his 4 questions first, and then we'll get to you. Sound good?
Sounds good, man.
All right, Jay, your round of the shootout about Nebraska backup quarterbacks begins here in 3, 2, and 1. He was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2018. Andrew Bunch or Patrick O'Brien?
Bunch.
It was Bunch. He was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2011. Johnny Stanton or Breon Carnes?
Stanton.
It was Carnes.
Dang.
He was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2002. Mike Stuntz or Monte Cristo?
Oh, it's Stuntz.
It was Stuntz.
Because I played with Monty.
And he was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2003.
Man, I don't know. Oh, Joe Daly?
He pulled it out at the last
Was it Joe
second.
Daly?
It was Joe Daly.
Hey, and the only reason it
2003.
was Joe Daly because I saw Coach Brown and Joe Daly, I think, is coaching at Kansas. So that's the only reason. I just said Joe Daly.
Well, all right.
Light
That's
skin
a
for the win.
4-point round. Neil, you need 4 to tie. You need a perfect round to win. You ready for your shot?
Yes, sir.
All right. Starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2013. Ron Kellogg or Tommy Armstrong?
Kellogg, sure.
It was Kellogg. He was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2016. Noah Vedral or Riker Fife?
Riker Fife.
It was Riker Fife. He was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2008. Patrick Witt or Zach Taylor?
Oh, Zach Taylor's over. Patrick Witt, I guess.
It was Witt, and he was Nebraska's backup quarterback in 2005. Oh, you didn't get it off. Can you guess?
I know. I think he's number 5. Blackbeard. I can't think of his name right now. It's driving me crazy.
It was Joe Gans. Joe Gans was the backup for Nebraska in 2005. Neil, a valiant effort. Thank you for calling. Play again soon.
Did we tie 4-4?
No, Jay got the bonus round question right. So the last one is worth 2 points, but I don't give you the either or. So
You'll be all right.
Okay, good game.
Appreciate it, Neil. Jay, Joe Daly.
Joe Daly.
The convenience of a recent conversation.
Hey, that was a desperation 3 with the eyes closed bank shot that went around the rim and went in with like 3 seconds left. That was not very good.
But you made it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay, but we still have to give away the $30 to Wings and Rings. So we'll do this, Jay. We'll play the tiebreaker question. How many yards did Mike Stunts throw for in his Nebraska career?
Considering I don't know who Mike Stunts is, I'm going to say 1,400 yards.
Jay says 1,400 yards. We need over, under, or push on our starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. We will pick an even number 4, to give that chicken away. 2, big thanks to Michael Barton there from Buffalo Wings and Rings. Just saw him in. He has some business to get back to. But again, 40% off all wings at Buffalo Wings and Rings' 2 Lincoln locations today, including their Southern fried wings, smoked wings, and cauliflower wings through the rest of today. Get your answers in. Over, under, or push 1,400 career passing yards for Mike Stunts. Hour 2 of On the Block is next.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. 93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277, or judsonirrigation.com.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back to it. Hour 2 of On the Block. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. A lot of great stuff going on at their 3 Lincoln and 1 Omaha locations. We have the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings given away. Jay, you guessed 1,400 yards for Mike Stuntz in his Nebraska career. Best known, of course, for the reverse pass he threw for a touchdown to Eric Crouch. That was the one touchdown of Mike Stuntz's career, went for 63 yards in 2001. Then in 2002, he had 25 pass attempts, completed 10 of them for 100 yards. That brings his career total to 163 career passing yards. Just shy of 1,400.
Yeah. Eric was killing me. He said way under. I didn't know who Mike Stuntz was, man. I should know that because of that play.
That's right. You were kind of busy with this whole NFL thing at the time. So
horrible at Husker history.
But you won.
Yeah.
You won.
I mean, win. I've only lost once.
You have. It's true. I got to up the difficulty.
No, that day was too difficult. And you caught me by surprise.
I caught you by surprise, or Strick caught you by surprise?
Strick, it was you and Strick teamed up on me. One of the twin powers activate. And you guys got active on me.
We sure did. Disc Golf Jake, you are the winner of the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Shout out to Westy on our Starter Human Jewelers text line. His favorite wings are the sweet Thai chili with the blue cheese from Buffalo Wings and Rings, and it's not even close. I have not tried those yet. You are not the first person to give those rave reviews. So hopefully we can get down there again sooner than later. I know that we always enjoy our partnership with them down at 68th. I know we're down there for the Super Bowl. We're down there for March Madness. A couple fantastic nights out there with the crew, Buffalo Wings and Rings. So Disc Golf Jake, 30 days to stop in, pick up your $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Jay, a question that's been kind of on my mind when it comes to Nebraska football in fall camp is, can Nebraska get more explosive and more efficient offensively? Or if they can only do one, would it be better for them to be more explosive or more efficient? Because last year, Nebraska really slowed things down. We know that Matt Rule is a big proponent of a traditional huddle, right? Get the play call in, get to the line. I don't know how much freedom Dylan Raiola had to make a lot of checks, but, get to the huddle, get to the line, survey everything that's going on. Nebraska was very rarely in a hurry last year. And I think some of that was, on purpose, right? Freshman quarterback, relatively new skill position guys around him, certainly out of the transfer portal with your freshman quarterback. And because the defense was on the field, a lot of the time, slow it down, maybe give them a little bit of a break. But Nebraska wasn't exactly efficient. Didn't score on a high enough percentage of the drives, which is why they average, only in the low 20s for points per game last year. If you look at the playmakers and the offensive line that Nebraska has this year, do you see a group that might still have to play slow, but will be able to maximize more possessions by paying them off in touchdowns? Or do you see playmakers on Nebraska's offense that might be kind of boom or bust, but they'll be able to score from anywhere on the field?
Oh, man, that's oof. I mean, I haven't seen them enough to really give you an honest answer. I just think that if they became more efficient, I'm a big believer the more efficient you are, the more explosive you become. Because it becomes a lot easier. So if I had to vote for, obviously I want a team to be explosive. But I think if explosive to me is you're waiting and waiting for, it's like a kick returner, right? And, we used to cover kicks sometimes against this guy named Michael Bates, and he was an Olympic sprinter, and he was he was fast, right? But I think a lot of times you go to games and you're waiting for that one every 6 games, or in the NFL obviously there's 16 games, so one every 6 games, and then you only get it twice during the season. That to me is like when I think of just off the cuff explosive. When I think of efficient offense, I think of the Patriots when they're able to do their things, and the Chiefs, they're very efficient, even though they can be very explosive. But really, how they kill you is they are so efficient. The explosive plays are just like a walk in the park. It's like throwing on air because they're running it. They're mid. They're hitting you with the short. They're hitting you with the intermediate. They're hitting you with the I call it mid long plays, so like a 12-yard dig or a 14-yard dig.
It still counts as an explosive, right, but just kind of on the borderline.
But then they'll catch it and they only get 2 or 3 yards, run after the catch, right? Well, the next thing you know, they'll come out in that same formation. Boom, they'll hit you with it. I saw a really good video. I would like to have done a defensive breakdown in the Black Shirt Report is like of Cliff Kingsbury. They ran one play out of a bunch formation, right? With the same receiver at the point. And what the point means for people that are listening, in a bunch formation, it's like a V, right? I'll just like a V. And the point guy is the guys on the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, that's what you call it. You got the point. You're talking defensively. You got the point guy, because a lot of times defensively, you can say you're isolated on the point guy, no help, and then you can play like a matchup zone on the 1 and the 3. You could do all different types of stuff. Well, against Detroit last year, sorry, Nick Sainer, they came out in this formation, and then they ran kind of a, let's just call it a RPO take, right? And it was a good run play. Right now, Detroit could have just fixed it by just realigning their linebackers. Essentially, it was one back, one gap. And then you can say, okay, we'll deal with it, be able to rally to Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, because they got Branch and those guys back there. Well, what they did is they made a check, essentially an overload blitz to the slot. Out of that, Cliff Kingsbury set them up, RPO action, boom.
Little play action fake
scary
over the
Terry,
top.
explosiveness. That explosive play was a byproduct of being very efficient of taking what the defense would give you on an 8-yard run, right? Unimpeded progress to the second and third level. That puts the defense on the hold. That's a very, very efficient. It pretty much is an explosive run.
Mm-hmm.
Efficient offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 4, you get 8 yards. Holy crap! Well, we're resetting it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our heels. Oh, we're gonna fix that right away. Boom! Explosive play is off of that. That's where I think I like efficient offense, because that means you're efficient in the run game, pass game, third down, in special situations. Now, explosiveness. I mean, obviously, we have Randy Moss and everybody then I would say explosive.
Because I think that, if you look at Nebraska averaging 23.5 points per game last year, in terms of average yards per carry, 3.8, that's neither explosive nor efficient, right? That's not good enough. 4 is kind of the bare minimum of what you're looking for in terms of yards per carry. I don't have Emmett Johnson's long pulled up in front of me here, but it wasn't like he busted off a long one to go to the house. Nebraska didn't have a whole bunch of deep touchdown shots. And that's where I think the next question with that, Jay, is, if Nebraska is not going to be, the 2018, 2019 Chiefs, right, with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce, and all the fireworks that Mahomes was doing, can they find, their Marquez Valdez-Scantling, for example, right? A guy that won't always do a whole lot, and Alec Pierce, right? Who really only has one trick, that's to go deep. But Alec Pierce, I think, led the league in yards per reception. It's really up there just because, that's one thing he could do. Could run past a guy. I think Isaiah Hunter can do that, right? I think he has a pretty good first step. I think he can be a vertical threat. Now, can he do it consistently, right? If you need a big play, is that where Nebraska looks? Do you trust Emmett Johnson, to have put on maybe a little bit of speed or shed a little bit of weight so he can be a little bit more explosive? Is there another step in Ja'Cory Barney? But that's where I come back to this. Is it on Dylan Raiola and Dana Holgerson to set these guys up? Or is it, to make those plays, right? Get them the ball in space in a one-on-one and let them do the rest? Or if Nebraska is going to be an explosive offense, is that going to come from Dylan Raiola's arm talent throwing guys open down the field?
Oof, that's a hard question. I think it's poof. It's, I guess, yet to be determined, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see it to where they have so many weapons. You're able, well, number one, let's just be honest. You ain't gonna do nothing until you start running. Like, you got to run the football.
Better than 3.8 a pop.
Yes, and you got to be more efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be able to lean on that, and that's what you talked about. Where they would probably like to do would be able to bleed you to death, right? And be able to get 4 yards when you need 3, 5 when you need 4, whatever you need, and then obviously have some big runs, right? And they've shown, Emmett could probably do some of that, and he can help, with the, I'll call it the makeshift run game in the passing game. That's part of the run game as well.
Mm-hmm.
With how efficient your backs can be and making guys miss and behind the line of scrimmage, and now you got to run. So all that has to happen first, and then as far as the weapons out there, they have the hardest thing, I think, to answer your question, but the hardest thing is going to be able to do is to make sure that you use the different body types and different attributes, because Dane Key is different than Hunter. Barney is different than Carter Nelson, but they kind of do the same thing, right? It can do. Then you got Lindenmeyer, and then Harburg, and then Emmett, and then whoever else is working in there behind or alongside Emmett. Being able to game by game, situation by situation, quarter by quarter, probably, because you got to make in-game adjustments to make sure that you're putting people in the most advantageous position to be successful, which then will lead to explosive plays. So I'm assuming ideally you want to be able to line up in a game where you got to close the game out and beat somebody up. Then if you get into a track meet, you want to be able to do that as well. But to hang your hat on a track meet probably is not what they want to do.
Certainly not in the Big Ten, right? We've heard that time and time again, or that's where maybe, Indiana made it work against the schedule they had last year. But that's why it feels like maybe Jeff Brom's teams were capped a little bit at Purdue. Big Ten's not really a track meet league. I mean, maybe Oregon, but even that, that's a relatively physical track meet, even by those standards at times. Maybe not as physical as a traditional Big Ten team, but Oregon's certainly not a pushover. And to that point, Jay, we get this from 1171 on the Sartor Human Jewelers text line. Between last year's offensive line and whatever you project this year's to be, which do you think is the better overall unit?
Well, I think they're better this year just because if Isaiah Pritchard and Rocco live up to billing, then they're better there. And then, with Henry and then Justin Evans at center.
Because you're comparing them to Gatula, Evans, Scott, Lutovsky at right guard, and then Bryson Benhart. Would have been the 5 by the end of last year for Nebraska.
Yeah, and then you throw Gatula into this year, like a more seasoned.
Yeah.
Or
versus Mazuka last year at times.
Mazuka, which is, he was never, you couldn't count on him. I guess you couldn't count on him. He was in there, then, who knows what happened next. Then you're there, then you're gone, then you got hurt. So just by that alone, these guys have more talent, so they should be better. Now, cohesiveness has got to be what they need to work on. But also, last year's offensive line was probably a little bit more consistent. I think it was a little bit more consistent than people give them credit for.
It wasn't elite by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't as big a negative as it was the previous couple of years. They were fine.
Yeah.
They were fine. They were good enough. They were fine.
They were fine, and I think also I think what the easy thing. Here's my analogy. Like when I was talking to basketball players, easiest thing to do is to be negative and be a crappy teammate. When I'm talking about it, just in sports in general, the easy thing to do when people, and I'm saying this without, I'm gonna say this, and there was times, like early in his career, Bryce Benhart was jumping off the sides all the time and all that, right?
That's a problem.
That's factual. Okay, but when he doesn't, and then he obviously has some, obviously you get beat, then it's like double jeopardy. It's like once they dime you as or tag you as crappy, it's easy just to keep saying that instead of saying, okay, well, maybe they got more consistent. They got older, sure. Don't use that against them. They got older and they got more consistent. They weren't the best offensive line. They weren't the Joe Moore winning offensive line. That's fine. They're not even saying that. Right? You never heard that come up. But what they did, they got more consistent. But they didn't get enough credit for the step that they made, based at past transgression from 3 or 4 years ago.
And it's always going to stand out when there's a miscommunication and free rushers come up the middle. That happens to every team once or twice a year. You got to limit what you call the direct access plays, right?
Yeah.
We didn't see a lot of Nebraska necessarily resetting the line of scrimmage in a lot of ways, which is why you look at it. And Dante Davidel, 4.3 yards per carry. Emmett Johnson, 5.1. Ramir Johnson averaged just shy of 5 on just over 50 carries. And of course, sacks factor in here. But Nebraska, on the aggregate, wasn't really a great rushing team. So that offensive line wasn't blowing anyone off the ball by any means. But then, Jay, you look at that Pinstripe Bowl, that offensive line helped close that game out. Yeah. I don't think the year before Nebraska closes out that Boston College game with a very similar offensive line.
Yeah, it's another year they got better and they had a little bit more pride about themselves, and they're kind of used to kind of how they do things over there. So I think it's one of those things. I think this year's offensive line has not a ton, but they got options, and now they have as a unit that got to become the answer, and that's just what they can control. Right now, this season, is out of the coach's hands. I mean, in theory, like obviously the coach has got to set forth the patch, all this stuff, right? The process, the plan, the blueprint. But really, this season depends on what those guys, 120, whatever it is, it's in their hands. Because you can't say because the reps are going to be the reps in practice. The plays are going to be the plays, offense, defense, special teams. Now, what you do in between those plays and how well you execute the drills, that's really on you. I mean, you have to be coached, but you have to execute because you can't expect the coach to hold your hand. I mean, what are you going to be out there against Cincinnati and say, hey, man, can you play a little bit off for me, please? Can you play inside?
Well, Jay, you just told us that Todd Grantham did exactly that.
No, he cussed me out because I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Oh, sounded the same
in a loud stadium. When we were at home, by the way, I could hear his voice at home. And it probably became more clear because it became clear that I messed up thoroughly.
At home.
And I prided myself on not doing it. And then I doubled down on it because I was trying to be like a chump. And he knew me so good that here's what I did. I took my mouth guard out. I had one of those they were actually pretty sweet. They help you breathe. It's a mouth guard, but it was just the top. So you didn't get concussion, or maybe it was the bottom. So I took it out and had it in my hand. So he knew exactly what I was saying. And I pointed at him and stuff. Yeah. So it was, but
he was holding your hand.
No, he was one to probably sock me but I think, really what these guys got, I mean, it's on the players. And it's not to say that the coaches don't need to do their job, but if you're running, here's what people don't realize the difference of like when you're running lines or gassers and touching the line. It's, are you willing to do the little thing that you think is stupid, but it actually has a bigger purpose? Will you go and run in the darkness because I ask and everybody needs you to without asking why? And the circumstances can't change it. Will you do it if you're up by 10? Or will you do it if you're down by 10? Will you do it if you're up by 20? And we hope we ain't down by 20, but you still have to do it. That's the whole point. And right now, these guys control everything. And the only thing that they can do is control what they can control, which is the effort, execution, and intent. And then obviously the game plan and stuff will fall on the coach. They get coaches and they got to look at the matchups and all that crap. And but that's just their job. Their job isn't to hold your hand. And then they definitely don't need to hold your hand while you're getting paid.
You're a professional now.
Yeah.
Don't need coach handholding. Let's get to this to wrap up this segment from 1171 again. This person thinks, Jay, the offensive line takes a step back. I think you and I would disagree on that. It might look different than last year. I think it probably grades out about the same level. Might look a little different, but I don't think it's going to be a big step back. I think Coach Raiola's earned a little bit of a benefit of the doubt too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, okay, so who was left tackle last year?
Gatula by the end of the year.
So Gatula and Turner. So you think like Pritchard? Yes, Elijah Pritchard, not Isaiah. It's Elijah. Who is this? 1171. I'm gonna tell you like I told Nick Sainer when I was doing that read. They're doing it for Jay Foreign. This is Ebonics, Lincoln. Okay. Elijah, Isaiah, it's all sound the same. All sound the same. So Rocco. I mean, everybody's just got to play up to what their billing is.
I think Ben Scott was probably better. I'd take Ben Scott
over Evans
right now. Yes, Evans will be fine. I think Scott was legitimately good for the most part.
I'll take Evans.
Okay.
I'll take Evans over last year's Ben Scott.
Okay.
First year's Ben Scott is different.
Okay.
I'll take Evans just because he's got a little bit more nastiness. I think he got a little.
All right.
He got that little. What's the little dude that always fight John Jones, the wrestler?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? The little chubby dude. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that about Evans, but you know what I'm saying? He's built like it.
So then it's Lutovsky and Spindler versus Lutovsky and Evans at guard.
I think. Well,
Lutovsky swung over to the left.
Spindler and Lutovsky.
Then your tackles sounds like Tyler Kanak, Knock, over on the right side, getting first team reps. And then it was a split between Gatula and Pritchett on the left side. At least yesterday, that's what it was.
So it really is
versus Ben Hart.
Mac is better than Ben Hart or as good? I mean, I
Ben
think,
Hart was fine by the end of his career.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take a step back. I think if it'd be even. I mean, ideally for this offensive line, you want to be better better at week 6 than you were at 1, and better than in 10 versus 6.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, Elijah Pritchard is a big dude.
1171 says he was average on an underwhelming Alabama offensive line, to which I would say, number one, progress is not linear, but that dude started as a freshman in the SEC. So maybe it was underwhelming as a whole. I'm willing to bet on his development right now.
Yeah. I don't know about all that. That's a bit.
Big dude?
Yeah. I'd have to think twice running into him a few times. I'd have to shake and bake against him. I mean, sure, yes, Daniel Cormier, that's who it is.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the good thing about it is they got a great opportunity to exceed expectations and then continue along with the standard.
We'll get to the rest of 1171's text. We look at some of the other rooms as well.
He coming hard, man.
He's just giving his thoughts. You know, it's fodder.
He said everybody taking a step back. Hey, listen, he said everybody taking a step back, including the water boy. The tight ends
Bobby
taking
Boucher,
a step back.
you got worse.
Yeah. Give me some water. Oh, I need some creatine in my water. On ice.
Don't forget, the rest of the day, you can get 40% off all wings, including Southern fried wings, smoked wings, and cauliflower wings. Rest of today only at both Lincoln Buffalo Wings and Rings locations, 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney. They dropped some off for us. Big thanks to Michael for doing that. Really appreciate him dropping those by. We will go to break. I will partake in a couple wings. We'll be back to break down some more Husker football at fall camp after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds. It'll be hot with an afternoon high around 100. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, low around 69. And tomorrow, a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, mainly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with the high around 82. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back in on the block. It's Foreman and Foreman with you for another half hour or so before the teammates timeout. This segment brought to you by the great people over at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska, and they offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more information at 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. 1171, Jay took us through room by room on the offense and gave their thoughts. Here's one that I really disagree with. He says, tight end room takes a step back. I don't want to just buy into the hype of the offseason for the tight end position. Fedoni was fine, good enough, decent Big Ten tight end. Borkature absolutely had his moments. Lindenmeyer was tight end 3. Now, Lindenmeyer's got to take a jump into most likely being tight end 1. Carter Nelson listed as a tight end. Obviously, I think that's a player that looks pretty darn good. You've thrown Bonner into the mix there as well, and some intriguing young guys. Just because you might not know the names as much, I really think tight end has a chance to be one of the deeper rooms that Nebraska has, and I think hit you with some of those medium-long plays that you were talking about, a lot of those like 12 to 20-yard gains.
Yeah, I think I think both can be right, but then both can be wrong in the point. They're both your points. You know what I'm saying? The hard part is I think the bigger Borkature kind of I'm assuming he got paid to go to Texas. I mean, maybe he wanted to go do something else, but I think that's the that's as big or bigger. I know Fedoni got drafted and all that, but I think Borkature was still ascending and would have made the transition that much easier because you're like, okay, this dude's getting his shot. And then, so Lindenmeyer was number 3, but I think Lindenmeyer was sneaky good and more athletic than what people gave him credit for. I mean, he just kind of came in out of nowhere and he was a move tight end and all that. So I think the depth is probably what concerns with 1171, right? I mean, that's the right.
I would assume so.
Because well, you got to think you had 3 tight ends last year, and now you got 1 that you know. But on the flip side, I guess if Carter Nelson's everything they say he could be, and he's athletically he is, in their way to get him, he could be a matchup problem and more explosive. I mean, because they didn't last year they didn't have nobody with his skill set.
No.
So that means this year, obviously I know he's been injured a little bit. Then if he does his thing, then that's changing. So, I just think with the tight end room, that's probably the room where I think the guys have to define themselves the most. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because in its role definition, take your role and own your role. Lindemeyer's got to be the lead dog. Where does Heinrich fit in? Where does Carter fit in? Where's Ingridson fit in? Where does Bonner kind of fit in, in general? All those guys have to really define themselves on what they want to do, or where they're at. Now, I've seen where, on the flip side, when I was, so when I went from 97 to 98, or at least my, senior year, I think we brought Octavius McFarland down from safety for Will. And then we had Brian Shaw and Tony Ortiz kind of competing there. So I was the known cog starter for 3 years or whatever. Everybody else had played little specialty a la carte, but hadn't been, on the main menu yet. And then it eventually, worked itself out. Then after I left, they were able to, really step into bigger roles themselves. So I think that's where the guys got to define themselves where they're at within this offense. And so that's probably where maybe the spotlight's on, and it's only because you don't have known names.
Same thing at running back then, to some degree as well. You have Emmett and then a bunch of names that you throw out there,
right?
Where I don't know if that room's going to be better or worse than last year, but it's certainly less proven than last year.
Yeah, and you know what? That's part of it. I mean, that's I think a lot of times people don't realize there was a time Jay Foreman was or not proven.
Yeah,
there was. Trust me, and I felt it. There was times where there was a time, quiet as kept. I know you guys don't like hearing about the night. There was a time that Jason Peter and Grant Wistrom weren't known commodities or proven yet. Amon Green wasn't. There was questions of whether he could go from freshman sensation to lead dog. Period.
Sure.
Everybody goes through that. Now, whether these guys can make it, their name, go from an option to an answer, that's just on them. And so I don't think it's something where you lose sleep off. I just think it's the guys that got to really, step up and taking on their roles. And that for me, I would like that position.
Oh, I mean, everything's on the table in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I'm a backup behind Emmett Johnson, it's this guy hasn't been a starter yet. And I love Emmett again, even if I'm a guy in that room. But if I'm Makai Nelson, if I'm Quentin Ives, it's Emmett's getting a lot of headlines. Emmett's the leader in the room, but I'm telling myself I can catch it. There's nothing except me keeping me off the field right now.
Emmett was behind Dante. Now things change now because Coach Dana is the offensive coordinator. So now you can really kind of get in there and get in where you fit in, based on what they view and what they need out of a running back position or positions. And you can be really, effective because you want to make sure that you don't change. You don't want a coach to have to change the playbook for when you come in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Don't make him dumb it down. Don't make him tailor it just to you. They'll have plays you're better at, but don't make them.
Emmett's going to get the majority of the reps. Or in the first crack at him, and then rightfully so. And so they, he's the RB1. They know it. Everybody knows it. But Emmett knows. Emmett's fighting. Emmett's competing against he's competing against everybody in the room, but more importantly, he's competing against like a ghost. The ghost is the same things. You've never the people. So everybody knows he's good. He's shown that shown flashes. So now he's competing against. Okay, can you really be the guy that totes the RB1 for a whole big season? We've seen you do it for So you're competing against the doubters. The doubters could be in New York or whatever. You're competing against those doubters. Where the everybody else that you met, Quinn Ives,
Mackay
Nelson, Mose, all those guys, they're competing. Or was it Parker? Right?
Yeah, he's been out with an injury.
Been out, but if he comes back, all those guys are competing against each other right now. Trying to stare where they stack up. Both of them are white knuckle competitions. They're hard because I've been on both sides. I've been 7th on the depth chart trying to get to 5. I've been 5 trying to get to 3. And the biggest jump you got to take is 3 to go to 1. And then once you get to 1, then it's like, who am I competing against? Because you don't know who they are. It's harder to stay on top than to get there.
Yeah, consistency, longevity, all that stuff.
Because once you do something one time, they're like, okay, well now you always got to yearn for more. And so, there is some parallel between. I mean, it's no different than linebackers. Where you got Javen, you got my man, the law firm, you got Shavers, you got Bauer. I mean, you got a lot of guys that have kind of shown different flashes, right? Now, where does everybody get in? Where they fit in the role definitions, and where they are in the pecking order, and what are they really competing against, right? I mean, but it's not a talent thing. So that's what I'm saying. They got some options. Now these guys have to take the bull by the horns and go be the answer. And the answer is not just the answer isn't against. I made some good plays against Houston Christian.
Right.
Them answers have to come to fruition tomorrow through for every single day. And then so I mean there's a ton of competition, and it's different, man.
And it's healthy competition.
Yeah.
To some degree, I get why fans are worried. Oh, we don't know a bunch of these guys. We haven't seen them before, and that's just natural for fans. But the entire point of competition is that you figure out who the best on your roster is. And then the point of the competition in games is how does the best that you have stack up against the best that someone else has, right? Right now, it's not about Nebraska, Cincinnati, even.
No,
there's too much that Nebraska doesn't know about itself to be too worried about Cincinnati, right? These guys got to worry about how good can I be today for the next, 30 days before we even get there.
Your biggest competitor is, well, first of all, it's you versus you.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's us against us. That means this is Nebraska's biggest game is tomorrow at practice, Thursday at practice, Friday, all that stuff. That's their biggest competition. And then right now, and probably not even right, I can't speak for right now, but it's 30 games away. You might, some of the, I'm sure they got scouts or whatever. They might start kind of like taking a peek at Cincinnati. I'm sure they've kind of looked at them before.
Mm-hmm.
You start honing in on Cincinnati about, 10 days before the game, maybe, 8 or whatever. But right now, their biggest competition, their biggest day is tomorrow. That's their best. That's got to be the main focus, or to meetings tonight or whatever they got going on. Now, I'm going to tell you what, Austin, I wonder like this is like, I was just thinking, Dan Marino's my favorite quarterback. That dude, I ain't never seen nobody. I ain't never seen that dude. Nobody. I mean, actually, here for everybody out there, I'll use the best English I can. I have never seen a human being throw the football like Dan Marino before.
Who are you, and what have you done with Jay Foreman? That was unnatural. That was an out-of-body experience for me.
Right. But now I'm gonna tell you, like I say, I ain't never seen a brother throw that football like Dan Marino. Never.
There we go.
Nobody.
Back. We're back. We're cooking.
Right? So, all right, that's my ideal. I would probably say, like, up until I played against Brady, like Joe Montana, it was hard for me to relinquish Joe Montana being the greatest of all time. Because plus he was cool as a cucumber, right? But you need to look at Tom Brady. He's a savage. He's a savage.
Michigan guy, though. He's soft.
He's a savage. That's the only knock on him. So then I'm going back to Joe Montana, but then he went to Notre Dame.
Oof.
But Dan Marino went to Pittsburgh. So it's all
whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
So now we're back to it, right? when you got to think about this, all Tom Brady and Joe Montana.
Mhm.
Okay. Dan Marino, not so much probably when he's in the pros. I can't talk about when he was in Pittsburgh, but those two in particular, Joe Montana in the pros at the height of his career, and Tom Brady in college. Both of them had to face competition and beat it.
Yeah.
And exceed, right?
Mhm.
So when you think of, and he was unknown. Tom Brady, you know, the board, I think, was the head coach. Like he gets a lot of credit for like all like you know.
What do you
We
really
wouldn't
do?
be that tight. Because Tom Brady was better than Drew Henson.
Yeah.
He was better, but he still had to compete,
Mhm.
right? He had the unknown against him a long time in the league. Are you a byproduct of the system? Are you a byproduct of having, let's say Vince Wilfork makes the Hall of Fame. Teddy Bruschi made the Hall of Fame. Richard Seymour made the Hall of Fame. Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy is potentially, and Rodney Harrison.
Rodney Harrison.
Well, now that's later. So Tom Brady was Tom Brady. So really, at the beginning of his career, there was doubt with Tom Brady.
Mhm.
Now it was made up, but he hadn't really had to do much. He really, everything was real control, ball control, and all that.
Mhm.
So I always look at it. There's going to be doubt there, and if they doubt the greatest of all time, then you better bet they're going to doubt you. It's like when I got traded. Somebody asked me about it. I was like, I was mad. I was like, man, Shaq just got traded. Now I didn't know at that time. I didn't know the reasons why he got traded. Him and Penny were mad at each other.
Right.
I just figured they shipped Shaq out. He's the most dominant player in his sport. I wasn't clearly not even close to Shaq or whatever. So anybody can get traded at any point in time.
Mhm.
But anybody's going to get doubted at any point in time.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Even when we were winning, people were doubting. When I was here, people were doubting. People doubted. People, it's funny. I know we got a minute. People used to doubt, whether Tommy Frazier was really that good or were we really that good. You know what I mean? People were doubting it. This is natural. It's the easiest thing to do.
Not believe your eyes.
Or it takes no energy. So I mean, a lot of these guys, instead of looking at it as a negative and be like, oh, why don't I, I think it's a byproduct. A lot of these kids in general, just athletes across the board, they just want instant validation. Hence why guys like being out there versus competing. I just want to be out there. I want to have a jersey and just get the pictures. Then I got the validation. The validation in football, unlike any other sport, probably the closest is hockey. There's no fair dodge.
No.
Because you getting them white lines, man. I'm telling you, you get in the league. They'll be due from Fort Valley State running circles around you. And you were like, why didn't he play? It's just because he probably had some stuff and then he got his ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll get a dude on Nebraska from Palmyra or was it Bowers from California?
Walk on, yeah.
He's like, why would he come here? And then now look at him.
Working out for him so far.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up on the block right after this.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds. It'll be hot with an afternoon high around 100. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, low around 69. And tomorrow, a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, mainly cloudy, breezy, and cool with the high around 82. time meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
One final segment of On the Block. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you, brought to you by Love Volleyball Omaha. Get and renew your season tickets today, LOVBOMA.com. Jay, I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple days. We'll do it here in just a couple minutes that we have before we turn things over to Demo and Ash for the teammates' timeout. Another pitcher from the Cleveland Guardians got busted as part of a gambling investigation.
Man.
Paid administrative leave. He will be out, I believe, through the end of August, the end of September. But this is Emmanuel Clase. I'm talking about, like, superstar closer for the Cleveland Guardians. My big question here for this is this going to continue to happen in pro sports where we see guys continually get busted for gambling? Or do you think this is just like going to be like a 5-year sort of thing before players wise up again? Because it's a rash right now. Like, part of me feels like the toothpaste is out of the tube. We're going to see this like till the end of time.
Yeah, because you had the basketball player.
Terry Rozier.
Rozier was the one guy that was supposed to get a contract this year.
Oh, Porter's
brother. But the guy that Strix knows is grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
Dating one of the Kardashians.
Yeah,
Played
no.
for Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's...
Like, can we ever go back? You know, is this...
No.
We can't go back?
No,
You think it's going to keep happening?
I wonder... Well, here's the thing. It's two different... I think there's two different sectors of the gambling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, remember last year during training camp with the Broncos and the Titans, the guys were getting in trouble, suspended because they didn't, like, place their bets in the certain... I think there's a room. Right?
You have to be like outside of the certain place or in
the stadium at a certain place, right?
Wherever, yeah.
So that's more like that's like, to me, that's like just stupid, you know, because like, okay, well, here, am I in violation? I'm in violation, right? You know what I mean?
But
right?
A rule's a rule. You got to keep it.
Right. But it's like, oh, I dipped one toe in, but I'm not fully in the pool.
Right.
That's a technicality. The problem, I think, where you think of point shaving and stuff like that, you know, with Terry Rozier and Porter and all that stuff that you know, with morally, ethically wrong. That's where I think you these guys need to wise up.
Even like the Guardians thing, they got busted because they would spike their first pitch of the inning. Like first pitch is like kind of prop bet kind of stuff. You know, first pitch of the inning would be a ball. Yeah, it's point shave it. But see, that's the thing about baseball too, is that like if you're a pitcher, on the one hand, yeah, you're probably the most in control of the outcome of a game. You're the one actually throwing the ball over the plate. But also, what's the old adage in baseball? Even the best guys will get themselves out 7 out of 10 times. To me, it's both easiest and hardest to throw a Major League Baseball game as a pitcher. And one pitch that you're spiking into the ground, obviously don't bet on yourself to do that. That is just stupid.
That lets you
but
know
one pitch like that doesn't seem like it has that big of an
change the game.
impact.
That's more of a ethical. In baseball, is very rigid in their thing.
Yeah.
Like, you hit my batter, you know your guy is going to hit. If you show up my pitcher, so I think that's the old school mentality. But also, I'm sure they're all highly compensated.
Yes.
What prop bet could you possibly be doing to do it? Now, you know, you driving to the game, like it's me in Austin, you call me and say, hey, Jay, man, I got $5,000 that you spiked that pitch in that first inning. Can you help a brother out? No, you know what? My arm might be a little tight. But
didn't get warmed up well enough.
Yeah, how many times are you going to do that, though? To lose your job.
Right.
Or to get suspended.
I don't remember if I still saved the tweet from last night or not. I think I did. I hope I did. I really hope I did. No, would I get rid of it? Anyways, it was essentially like, in terms of the number of pitches that this guy, Clase, has thrown that far out of the zone, like, you're never spiking. Yeah, here it is. So, Emmanuel Clase has come into the game at the beginning of the 9th inning 40 times this season. His StatCast waste percentage, so pitches that aren't close to the zone, 17.5% of his first pitches in the 9th inning have been waste pitches, not close to the zone. Every other pitch he's thrown has been 5%. He is 3.5 times more likely to throw a pitch that's not anywhere close to the strike zone, the first pitch of the 9th inning, more than any other pitch.
Does that mean you got to get warmed up better in between innings?
That's got to be his excuse, right?
Then you go best route, get the catcher cut, man. You're gonna lose a lot of credibility in the MLB.
Those bullpen catchers, they're just hanging on, man. They're just along for the ride. Can't get that guy fired.
It doesn't seem like it's worth it, man. But you know what? Gambling's here to stay. It was reluctantly, let into professional sports, and you better find a way to get some clear parameters, or this is gonna happen a lot. Not a lot, but more too much.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Especially when your leagues and your teams are sponsored by these things, which, again, there should be a very clear delineation. Yeah. I'm just saying, it does look funky from the outside. Exactly. So let's keep monitoring fall camp. We'll get back to that certainly for a couple hours tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. For Jay Foreman, I'm Austin Norman. We got the teammates timeout coming up next on the ticket.